Throwing cinnamon powder at unmarried people or even forcing cyclists to wear helmets are extremely unbelievable things, but they happen every day in Denmark. People often refer to Denmark as a wonderland, home to mermaids and Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. However, very few people know that here there are many prohibitions and strange facts that are not found anywhere else in the world. Face coverings are prohibited. According to Danish law, those who wear a scarf that covers their face and only shows their eyes in public will be fined $155. If they commit the crime again, they will have to pay a fine of more than $1,550. The ban also applies to accessories such as hats that cover the head and neck, masks, and fake beards. Full face coverings, including Muslim scarves, niqab, or burqa, have officially been banned from public use in Denmark since 2018. The law banning the burqa was proposed and argued by the ruling center-right alliance. It does not target any religion, nor does it prohibit the use of traditional Jewish headscarves, turbans, or hats. Those who force or threaten others to use face coverings will be sentenced to up to 2 years in prison. However, many opinions believe that this document is aimed at some conservative Muslim women. Some social activist groups have criticized the new regulation, saying it violates women's rights, while supporters assert that the ban will help Muslim immigrants integrate more quickly into society. Number 14. Do not speak formally. You do not need to use words like thank you, excuse me, or please when chatting with Danish people or entering a bar. Just say, give me a beer, without the please after it. This does not mean that Danes are rude people. On the contrary, they are very polite and consider those words to be superfluous. This reflects an important part of the communication culture in Denmark. In this country, directness and frankness are often highly valued, and the use of polite words such as thank you, excuse me, or please may be considered too unpleasant or unnecessary in some situations, especially when something needs to be done quickly, like at a bar. Danes tend to value directness and sincerity in communication, and they usually do not use overly polite words. Therefore, when interacting with Danes, directness and simplicity are often valued more than using lots of polite words. However, this is just a small aspect of the diverse and interesting communication culture in Denmark. In most countries today, naming a child is a very simple matter. Each couple can choose a name they like without fear of violating any legal regulations. Boys can even have the same name as girls. But in Denmark, naming children is really a difficult and sometimes complicated problem. While other Nordic countries have similar laws, Denmark's regulations are the strictest, partly because the Danes don't like anything too unique or different. Therefore, choosing a name for a child is a serious job according to the law, and needs to be approved by the Organization of Ecclesiastical Affairs and the Organization of Family and Consumer Affairs. This Danish naming law has been enforced to protect children from being teased, shunned, or isolated because they have names that are too strange, become jokes in the future, or are sometimes just for entertainment. Parents giving their child a strange name like Apple, Patio, or Martin will be rejected because the name resembles a fruit. Jet Travolta resembles an airplane, or Brooklyn Beckham resembles the name of a place. Parents to be in Denmark will have to choose names from a list of 7,000 government-approved names, mostly British and Western European, including 3,000 boy names and 4,000 girl names. Common names that have creative spellings or unusual spellings are usually not approved. The law stipulates that boys' and girls' names must clearly represent gender. Family names are not allowed as names. In addition, Denmark also has laws to protect rare national traditional surnames. Some ethnic and religious names, such as Ali and Hassan, have also been added. However, if parents want to put another name on the list, they must apply and first wait for permission from the local church, which registers the baby's name. Next, the name will be reviewed by the University of Copenhagen Name Investigation Board. Ultimately, it is the government's Ministry of Ecclesiastical Affairs that has the power to approve or reject that name. In Denmark, being unmarried at the age of 25 is considered a serious problem. On their birthday, they will not be allowed to blow out the candles and cut the cake, but must sit still and let their friends and relatives throw cinnamon powder at them. For most countries in the world, 25 years old is still quite young. Many people do not think they will get married at this age. The 25th birthday is also welcomed with cake, alcohol, parties, and singing. As for 25-year-old men and women in Denmark, on their birthday, they will always have to keep their minds in a defensive state because at any time, anywhere, whether in the house or on the street, their relatives and friends may hold them back to throw cinnamon powder at them. According to many historical records, this tradition has been passed down since the 16th century. A story tells that at that time, people got married quite early, and those who were not yet settled by the age of 25 were considered severely single. However, at that time only spice traders got married late or did not get married at all because they often traveled everywhere, were busy with business, and did not stay in one place long enough to get to know and marry someone. Therefore those who married late were often ironically called spenders. They would be covered with cinnamon and pepper, regardless of whether they sold spices or not. On the 25th birthday, friends have the task of kidnapping and tying the birthday person to a chair or a pillar on the side of the road. After donning goggles to protect their eyes, they start throwing cinnamon powder at them. Sometimes the mixture will have more water added to increase adhesion. 5 years later, when they turn 30 years old and are still not married, the gift will be upgraded to pepper powder and eggs. A cinnamon attack usually lasts quite a while as participants wait for their victim to wash off before continuing the attack a few more times. Number 11. Same-sex people can marry in church. Denmark was the first country in the world to give legal recognition to same-sex couples in the form of registered partnerships in 1989. On June 7, 2012, the law was passed and replaced by a same-sex marriage law, which took effect on June 15, 2012. The Danish parliament has even approved a law allowing same-sex couples to marry in church with a full wedding ceremony, like any other couple, instead of a short blessing ceremony by the home's Lutheran church. This was done despite the objections of the priests. Lawmakers voted 84 in favor and 24 against to change Danish marriage law. Churches nationwide will be required to organize same-sex weddings, but by law, individual parish priests still have the right to refuse to perform marriage ceremonies. At that time, the local bishop found a replacement to officiate at the church. Number 10. The cycle of cycling in Denmark. The use of bicycles has become an indispensable part of daily life in Denmark, overcoming all weather conditions. Bicycles not only serve as a means of transportation but are also a symbol of a sustainable lifestyle and environmental awareness. From entertainment and commuting to transporting goods and traveling with family, bicycles have been associated with many aspects of life. With up to 675,000 bicycles compared to only 120,000 cars in Copenhagen, this number proves the influence of bicycles on life and culture here. Up to 29% of all journeys in Copenhagen are made by bicycle, and for commuting to work or school, this figure increases to 41%. In particular, this rise in Copenhagen can be up to 62% for people living and working in this city. Continuously promoting bicycle use, people in Copenhagen cycled a total of 1.54 million kilometers per day in 2016, up 22% from 10 years earlier, with the average Danish person cycling 1.6 hours per day. 9 in 10 people own at least one bicycle. People see cycling not only as a means of transport but also as part of their daily life. Bicycles become a companion in all situations, from going to work and shopping to participating in crowded events. The convenience of flat terrain, along with environmental awareness, has promoted the development of bicycles in this country. Number 9. Banned squishy toys. Squishies are toys designed with many cute and eye-catching shapes such as cakes or animals. Not only children but also many teenagers like them. They are very soft and quickly return to their original shape, even if the player distorts them as much as possible. Mainly used to relieve stress, however, these quite interesting toys are banned and completely removed from stores in Denmark. The Danish Environmental Protection Agency took samples and tested 12 squishy toys and discovered that all contained toxic chemicals that cause cancer and can also damage the liver, cause breathing difficulties, infertility, and eye inflammation. Scientists have analyzed the chemicals in toys that can be released and stick to a child's hands or body. If a child holds them in their hands while sleeping or hugs them for an hour continuously, the chemical DMF found in squishies is easily absorbed through a child's skin, causing liver toxicity, vomiting, and constipation. In addition, squishies also contain trolamine, which causes difficulty breathing and eye irritation. After the above discovery, The authorities immediately issued a warning about the level of danger and advised all distributors and importing companies to be responsible and not continue to sell this type of toy again. So Danish children officially say goodbye to this toy, but it is necessary because health is the most important thing. Number 8. Children on the street. A video of newborn babies sleeping in strollers in public has attracted widespread attention because there are no parents around the strollers. In Denmark, babies sleep outdoors alone. One woman captioned the video, which has now attracted more than 11 million views. This may come as a shock to most people, but in Denmark, leaving babies alone on the street while they nap is common practice. It's completely normal for parents to let their children sleep outside while shopping or drinking coffee, but moms and dads always keep an eye on their baby, and strollers often have baby monitors. This practice is so common that they even have cart parking spots outside businesses and in public parks. Children here are not kidnapped because no one wants to be responsible for someone else's child, said a mother in Denmark. Based on the Safest Countries in the World 2022 report, Denmark is ranked quite high at number 4. This level of security and safety allows children to enjoy a lot of freedom and independence. It is common to see children aged 8 to 10 traveling alone on public transport, and other passengers will keep an eye on them. Number 7. It's forbidden to call native people Vikings. Although the Danes are proud of their ancestors who conquered many countries in Western and Eastern Europe from the late 8th century until the 11th century, they do not like being called Vikings. Vikings refers to the explorers, traders, warriors, and pirates of Northern Europe in the past. People often talked about Vikings as roving warriors on warships or pirates. Vikings always brought death with them because of their bloodlust and barbarism. Maybe that's why the locals don't want to be called Vikings. Interestingly, the Danes still keep the traditions of their ancestors, especially the festive culture. The largest Viking festival is called Viking Moot, held in July in the town of Aas, attracting around 25,000 visitors each year. This is the ideal destination to explore and experience all things Viking. Participants all wear traditional costumes, and the main activities of the festival include matches, horse races, and a number of other activities that celebrate the legacy of the ancient Vikings. In addition, there is also a Viking market where visitors can make their own souvenirs, cook, and try archery. Number 5. Drunk children on the streets. Beer is a part of indigenous culture with more than 5,000 years of history, and there are more than 100 breweries in this country. It's no surprise that here, 14-year-old citizens have started drinking beer, and you can see them getting drunk on the street. People also rarely use alcohol, instead drinking draft beer. Denmark is, statistically, the most drunk country in the world. The definition of binge drinking is defined by researchers as drinking at least 6 drinks in one sitting. For a country with such a beer consumption rate, it is very normal for children to be exposed to it from a very early age. Children in Denmark are not actually allowed to drink alcohol. Danish law is very clear about prohibiting children under 16 years old from buying and drinking beer or alcohol. The legal age to buy and consume alcohol in Denmark is 18 years old. Despite this, Danish food culture involves parents allowing their children to consume alcohol at home in a safe and educational environment, and getting drunk is considered an enjoyable part of life. Number 4. Living happy nations. Scientists have recorded that the Danes are the happiest people in the world. In fact, this country is not a place with ideal weather and climate because winter in Denmark has a very short duration of sunlight, only a few hours. While the sun is a natural factor important to people's sense of happiness. Yet despite the circumstances, Denmark has repeatedly topped the table in the World Happiness Report, conducted by the United Nations. To explain the special psychology of the Danish people, a series of books teaching how to live happily in the Hygge style has been published. Hygge is essentially the pursuit of joy and happiness in life. Hygge is a brief Danish concept about helping oneself live comfortably, encouraging each person to find small joys that come from staying away from noise and chaos, both from external and internal sources. Hygge advises people to be gentle with everything around them, enjoying the sweetness of cake, feeling the warmth of a cup of tea, the comfort of a bed, dinner with loved ones, the coolness of a cup of ice cream, the moment of playing with your children, the moment of reading a book, and the leisure of a walk. Hygge is very simple. It emphasizes the small joys in everyday life to help us create a brighter, warmer panorama which we can normally easily find but often overlook because of busyness, haste, and inattention. Denmark is one of the countries where people obey the law absolutely. There is no law prohibiting pedestrians from jaywalking, but no person will dare to cross the street even when there are no cars or bicycles circulating if the signal light does not allow it. Known for their strict legal system and transparency, Danish people are often highly appreciated for their compliance and respect for regulations. This is not only due to their culture, but is also promoted by a strong education system, with teachers regularly teaching about the importance of obeying the law in society. Furthermore, transparency and fairness in the Danish legal system help create a stable and secure environment for the community. Looking at children happily sleeping on the sidewalk while waiting for their parents to go shopping, we can also understand how safe this country really is. Number 2, the origin of Lego. Surely among you, many have played or maybe love Lego games, but many people probably don't know which country Lego originated from. According to Lego's official website, the game's name is an abbreviation of two Danish words, leg, which means play, and goat, which means well. The Lego Group was founded in 1932 by carpenter Ole Kirk Christensen in Billund, Denmark. The company has been passed down from generation to generation and is currently owned by Kjeld Kirk Christiansen, grandson of the founder. Over nearly a century, from a small carpentry workshop, Lego has grown into a modern enterprise, making its mark as one of the world's largest toy manufacturers. Lego's most important product is its bricks. Plastic bricks with the principle of interlocking through tubes, providing unlimited assembly possibilities and stimulating children's imagination. Number 1. The origin of the name Bluetooth. Bluetooth was named after the second king of Denmark, King Harald Bluetooth. But the king probably didn't dye his teeth blue, right? In fact, this Viking king was very talented at communication and negotiation. Once he succeeded in uniting Denmark and Norway in history, thanks to this talent, people decided to name Bluetooth wireless technology after him. Bluetooth technology is also designed to unify and connect mobile devices wirelessly, reflecting the same spirit of communication and connection that King Harald Bluetooth demonstrated in unifying the lands. This is an interesting example of how history and culture can influence the names of modern technologies. And here's an adventure to discover the 15 forbidden things in Denmark and strange facts we may not have heard of before. This country is not only a place of wonderful natural beauty but also contains unique and interesting things about culture and lifestyle. Leave your comments below on what you learned from this video. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments section. Don't forget to press the like button if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on upcoming interesting content. Thank you for accompanying us on this journey. See you in the next discovery videos on our channel. Have a wonderful day and continue to delve into the interesting cultures of the world around you.